Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So just under 9 weeks out, so 8 weeks 6 days. I try and film these on the actual day when it's like X weeks out, but sometimes just life, so on, it kind of drags on. I want to get clear with my thoughts today, what I want to talk about, what I want to touch on. I don't really what to kind of call the video as well, and I've settled on when life revolves around the goal, which it very much does at the moment. I'm going to give a couple of examples and get into it. So at the moment, hunger is starting to creep in quite a bit. I'm not really able to fight it too much anymore. Not that I'm, not that there's been any slip-ups or giving in, but it has gotten increasingly harder in terms of food noise. Like even cravings have crept in a little bit, which they hadn't been. I'd been really good in terms of thinking, I don't want this, I don't want that, but now it is like the body is fighting back a little bit. So this week entered a new low body weight. I think got down to 81 and a half is I think the lowest this week. So checking pictures are on the screen now. This is the best I've ever looked in my life, above and beyond, so many thanks to Kyle Bacon for helping us. I've tried to mention him as much as I can because he has been an integral part, and I came into this prep 23 weeks ago thinking I'm going to do it myself, this, that, and I wouldn't have gotten very far without his help, especially because I came into it on quite low food anyway, and we actually bumped the food up, and then started cutting from there, which actually allowed me to get a little bit more muscle mass on at the start of prep on higher calories, which has been amazing. So the calories I'm on now, I was pretty much on like when I first started prep before Kyle intervened and helped. So massive credit to him for helping. And yeah, it has literally been a thing of just rinsing and repeating every day. Steps are still at 12,000, cardio is 50 minutes, 5 days a week. And yeah, it is very sort of time consuming, I have to say. And I haven't got a lot of energy for other things. All I care about outside of, say, immediate sort of friends and my mum and stuff, it's all I give a shit about at the minute is bodybuilding and working on the business, documenting the journey, trying to inspire other people. Like that is literally it. Nothing else is coming into it. Even in terms of my own downtime, it sounds daft, but you haven't even got the energy for chilling out in the way you might want. So just to give you an example, there's a game coming out on Thursday, Crimson Desert, which I've been sort of thinking, I really want to buy that, I want to do, but I don't think I've got the energy and the brain power to sit and play. Like I can't be bothered. Like you just sort of stick the telly on and try and switch your brain off a bit and watch stuff. I don't think I've got the capacity for playing a game like that. And I know that probably sounds like, very first world problems, very like stupid, but it is. It's just that's kind of how your brain goes a little bit. And it's not that I'm fried, but I don't have much tolerance for anything. So even here's another one, I can't remember if I was this one last week, but this happened again this week. So a little bit of bad driving from someone else on the road. I got cut up, and normally, I'd probably be losing my head a little bit and things like that. But this time the energy, I just braked and was like, I didn't have, you haven't got the fight, you haven't got the, unless at the minute it's lifting weights or getting the steps in or doing the cardio, I just haven't got the gas for a lot of things. And that has been tough, and I think it's been tough for people to see a little bit, but I'm very happy. Like I couldn't give a shit about anything else other than what I'm doing at the moment, essentially. Nothing else comes into it. I'm focused on the goal, I'm focused on the task in hand that I've got in just over 8 weeks' time, and I've came too far to let anything get in the way of it. So anything personal, anything where things aren't quite working out, I am very much like, yeah, that's fine. Like it if it's not serving us, it gets chopped, and that's kind of where I'm at in my headspace, and I'm comfortable with that. Something that I want to open up about is, I think bodybuilding and being in this back end of prep now, where I pretty much am not far off sort of stage ready. It's the thing of like, it's taught us to set some boundaries, which is something I've struggled with for 30 years, and generally that is true. So something I'll probably go into maybe one day. There'll be things around childhood that affected me, not being able to set boundaries, not knowing about that I was, it sounds probably a little bit deep, but probably even things around like personal space and not being able to set boundaries as a child and stuff like that, and being tight to like my own feelings and own thoughts. So that was something that was, you know, as I say, maybe one day I'll open up on a bit more, but it's the point is I'm turning this all into a positive where if I don't want to do something now, I feel like I've got the power to say no a lot more, and I'm settled in my decisions. You know, I'm not feeling guilty about turning things down or, you know, not doing stuff that serves a goal, serves a purpose. And I'm perfectly happy with that. I feel like the back end of this prep, in particular, the last sort of month or so, has really allowed me to kind of make up for some lost time in terms of boundaries and bandwidth. And even though I'm still carrying a lot of empathy, you know, I've not lost that. I'm not just kind of doing things for the sake of it, you know. Wipers have just randomly gone across my window, never mind. But we're live, baby. So yeah, I just kind of want to share that a little bit as well today. And I feel good, don't get me wrong. I'm getting tired a lot, I'm getting hungry. I'm doing this video now at 10 to 6, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I want my bed in a couple of hours. And typically sleep as well has been pretty wild. Turbo Dreams from Engineered Muscle, a fantastic product that has helped a lot in terms of calming me down the night. I've also been utilising some melatonin, again, just to help calm the brain down, especially of course with the stims at the moment, you know, the caffeine, so on. It is quite a lot going on. So yeah, it's everything is going well, but life is just revolving around prep, and this is all I care about, really. Like, as I say, aside from, you know, my mum, immediate sort of people, that kind of thing, that, you know, that obviously is not going to change. But if things aren't serving us, I'm kind of removing them a little bit. You know, I'm not trying to. It's like, so here's one as well that I'll kind of open up on as well. So as you guys know, I'm sure I've discussed before, I go to therapy. I now just go like once every 3 weeks to a month, and even this month I've kind of just thought I'll go close to the competition, or like just after or something like that, because I just think at the minute it's not that I've nothing to discuss, but all I'm bothered about is what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to say I'm selfish and things like that, but if there's nothing that I have to share at the moment, you know, anything that we still maybe deal with from childhood, or, you know, anything else of like a deep level which I go into in therapy, that is going to get dealt with for, like, in a couple of months' time when all this is over. You know, I'll probably, as I say, do a session before the competition just to kind of like make sure I'm okay. You know, there's no last minute nerves, maybe how to manage my nerves, my mindset. You know, I mean, my sole focus is winning. I'm prepping to win. I'm doing everything I can to win. Ticking all the little boxes, you know, the pause and practice, the check-in photos, the morning weigh-ins, adherent with food, adherent with hydration, you know, energy, training intensity, like everything that I can control, I am controlling. So that is, if anything, therapy's like done its job to allow me to finally set these boundaries and lock in on what I'm doing in terms of this goal. So yeah, that is pretty much that. As I say, I do wing these videos. My arm's getting tired here. So, but I do think I am looking better as well. We're getting leaner in the face. I'm feeling better. I think sort of body image and self-confidence has come a long way as well, which has been, you know, lacking over the years. So yeah, that is kind of that. That's just my little update. Of course, as always, follow on Instagram at Ashton Online Coaching. That's where I'm kind of doing the little day-to-day bits. But for the deeper stuff, this is where to be on YouTube, where I share kind of more inner thoughts. I'm not kind of time myself in the sense that I do on Instagram, where you're stuck to maybe like 60-second at a time on the story and that kind of thing. I try and open up a bit more, go a little bit deeper with things, and just explain what's going on, where my head's at. So that is kind of that. And yeah, I shall leave this one there. Any questions, drop them in the comments. Drop me a line on Instagram at Ashton Online Coaching. There's going to be a little bit more content coming, thanks to Anth Stubbs as well. We're getting together to do some more work this Tuesday, so that should be good. A little bit more sort of gym stuff, day to day, a little bit of that kind of thing as well, so that's exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that. So without further ado, shall leave this one there. God bless you. See you in the next one.